Hello, hello. Welcome to today. I just saw a raven fly by with a stick in his mouth. Auspicious? Perhaps. Let's tap into the frequencies of the earth, nature's harmonies. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All of the yeses in the world. I hope you are doing well, feeling good, choosing love to see, to consume, to feel, to respond from love, from that gorgeous place in your heart center. Yeah. I mean, when you're growing in utero, it's your heart that is the first thing to be created, and then the beat, and then the rest unfolds. I don't know, you might have to check that. I feel like that's the case. My mom had this this book when I was younger, and it had like the whole in utero photos and all the way to birth. It was very graphic. Oh yes, we've got gratitude to focus on today. Gratitude. What are you grateful for every day? Have you turned gratitude into a sacred state of being, a frequency? This is what we need to do. We need to wear gratitude like something we love, okay? We need to enrobe ourselves in gratitude and engage with our life, our things, our people, our world from a state of gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude that anchors in love. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Need a little water from my spongy spongy. Okay. Yeah, at the very beginning, I used to lick, and then I heard, and that was the end of that. Okay. Also, then I was getting like new to me decks that other people have touched, and I'm a little bit germophobic, and so I let that go. I don't know why you need to know, but finding ways of making things work with yourself, right? The task, the function, and then finding another way to make it work where everybody's happy. Compromise? Maybe. Okay, what do we have here? This, I think, is contact or flow or something. It's about water or contact. The energy of contact allows you to know that all doors to your inner source will open when you surrender and, like water, go with the flow, right? We've got this water symbol with the fire on the inside. Look at that standing out, hey? Perhaps it's because of all this red that I'm wearing today that's making this centerpiece being so full. It's like contained in flow, balance, cycle. That's sacred 3, right? Beautiful. Gratitude in contact. Well, gratitude is a frequency of love, and this creates an open channel for communication from your spirit team, from the divine, from your higher knowing, from your intuition to land, right? If we've got too much stuff in our brains, how are we going to hear those subtle little do this, go that way, let that go, right? Okay, we got some rainbows showing up. So, sun confirmation. Gratitude is the language of love. Let's just ask. Okay, runes. Who wants to come out and be a part of this reading? Okay, that one. Just one. He was beautiful. There were black cats in my dream last night. He was transformation, death and rebirth, and what else? Liberation, spiritual awakening, and protection. Beautiful. Magic, liberation, rebirth, spiritual awakening, and protection. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, all of those things for sure. Protection. Yeah, so in my dream, I have the darkness, which is this black cat that lives in my backyard. And I feed him a little bit. I don't feed him enough, but I feed him a little bit. And anyways, in my dream, I saw this black cat come in and I was like, hey. And then thinking it was him, because every once in a while he'll try and sneak in. And that's how he got his name, the darkness, to begin with, is I didn't see him in the darkness, and I opened up my sliding glass door, and all of a sudden he ran in, and it was that full moon that we had on Halloween a few years back. And he came out of nowhere, came out of the darkness, and frolicked in my kitchen, and then played with Scully, and then left. And so, and then after that, he would sneak in and hide in all the dark spots. And I would only see him because his little green eyes would be, or yellow eyes would be staring at me in the dark, like, do you see me? Anyways, so he was still outside of my dream. So it was a different black cat that got in. So that's making me think of this protection with the darkness, right? The things slipping past, things getting in, that still need to be rooted out, maybe weeded, perhaps. But this is in line with the energies that are happening right now, and why I'm wearing so much red today. Because today we are tapping into the energies of Chinese New Year, which is the start of the fire horse season. Okay, we got lots of cards coming out so far. So let's look at them here. Okay. So we've got love, 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 love coming here. Love is here. Okay, so we've got love, the lovers. Look at this beautiful thing. We've got the Five of Cups, and this is the mindful choosing to focus on the Two of Cups instead of the three that are no longer available. Okay, and this is choice, right? This is choosing to focus on what you have versus what you don't have anymore, what you've lost, right? This is the equivalent of gratitude, right? We could be like, oh, I don't have these three things. Why? Oh, right? Or we can be like, I have these two things. I'm grateful for that. Let's move on, right? This is choosing of the love, okay? And this is what creates beautiful energy that is moving while you are waiting and seeing things from different perspectives. Maybe this is your confirmation to consider things in that way, right? Don't put your focus on what you don't have, what you are missing, what you aren't seeing, and instead use your energy for love, for gratitude. Okay, because then we also had this Tower come in and the Hermit. Okay, so I feel like something's coming that's going to break you out of your hermit mode, your hermiting stage, your tendency to be alone, to do things alone. This could be all kinds of beautiful partnerships, right? That require you stepping out and you're engaging in the world differently. You've shifted your perspective from what would the opposite of gratitude be? Lack. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about the opposite of gratitude. But by shifting your perspective from that into gratitude, you start to move the energy in your favor, right? You get more of what you focus on. You signal through your attention what you want, what you require, what you appreciate, what you want more of. And the universe responds in kind. And so when you are grateful about all of the things that you have currently in your life, then the universe is like, oh, well, if you like that, here's some more, right? And it'll do that regardless. It'll do that if you're like, look at all the things I don't have. It'll be like, oh, you like that? Well, here's some more things you don't have, right? Okay, and for some of us, that in itself is a tower, right? This recognition of our own free will and how it plays in a collaborative way with the universe. And this is powerful stuff because it's all about perspective, right? I've been in situations where, I'm with somebody and they're just caught in this, I don't have an right? And I'm looking around and I'm like, look what you do have. What the heck? Why are we focusing on that, right? Okay, my plants are like, I'm dying. There you go. This one's always thirsty. And I know you are too, so I'll just give you the rest. Okay, let's take the time to water, and this is your friendly neighborhood reminder to drink the water. Okay, what else wants to come out here? We've got the Chariot. This is this movement from your transformation stage. This is the death and release of the old and how it moves timelines in your favor, which makes sense, right? The minute we release ourselves from tethers that bind us, hold us, keep us locked in to an old way, when we release those things, energy movement, right? This is the same. This is validating this switch of perspective from into gratitude. Let's just keep it there, right? This shift of perspective into gratitude. We all know the opposite of that, right? And how that feels. And this is the old way of being, this misuse, a redirection of attention, energy, using, manifestation, powers, all of this. This release of old ways of thinking, responding, and being. This is what rearranges timelines in your favor. This is what brings the treats, the gifts, the abundance. And remember, abundance is more than an abundance mindset is more than just financial. There are a million ways that abundance can show up in your life. Opportunities, friends, family, food, position, all of the things. But all of it is in response to the efforts that you make for yourself to move away from the things that disempower you. Yes. Okay, let's get some oracles. I feel like we should get, let's get an animal oracle and a planet oracle. And see what happens. Gorgeous. Look at that. I feel like we should maybe get one more. Okay. So we got the snake, which is, I don't know what it is. Auspicious? This is literally the energy of exiting the wood snake and moving into the fire horse. Okay, and then we've got the spider. And they're both earth, grounded, right? Okay, earth. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, fire, my spirit. The guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it is well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. Okay, and this is really giving me this death and chariot card that came out together. Right? The timelines are shifting, so release all of the things that are no longer serving you, that you don't want to bring with you into the new timeline, or that can't. Just can't. It can't come with you. You gotta let it go. Okay, and the spider, creator of prosperity through life's work. Whoa, it was 2222 on the timer when I looked up. And Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into the vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process oriented rather than results oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry, and abundance follows. It's like setting the structure, right? Just like the spider creates this beautiful creative expression of self, its web, and then it is able to receive whatever falls into it, right? When in balance, appreciative, is that another word for grateful? Yes. Enthusiastic and prosperous. When out of balance, discouraged, tired, and forlorn, to bring into balance playful curiosity. Yes, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so this is like this movement, right? This life's work, this shift of perspective, this awakening of your karmic or your coiled snake, right? What was it saying? What was it saying? Awakened and untapped potential, unawakened and untapped potential within. And this diligent, this steady, focused work. Moving you. Moving you. Yes, something like that. Okay. Okay. Let's get an astral card here. Okay. Shuffy Shufferton. Here we go. I don't know. There's some blue sky. It snowed last night or this morning. Not enough for like piles or anything, and most of it's already gone. But it's not quite springtime yet. There we go. The structure. The spider web is like the internal structure that everything, it's the foundational building. We've got Saturn and structure. Okay, let's see. 24. Think of Saturn as a martial arts master who pushes you to grow through workouts, discipline, and tests that allow you to prove what you know, both to yourself and others. Okay, the challenge of Saturn is to be careful not to cling to old conceptions of success and hold on to a brittle system that restricts potential and leaves people discouraged. This is this trap, right? This is why gratitude needs to be your yellow brick road that you follow all the way to your heart, which is the Emerald City, right? Okay, beautiful. The ancestors call you to wisdom and maturity, to know your gifts and limitations. This process may be an initiation, a test that empowers you. The universe loves to test, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. Let's get an archetype here. The universe likes to test. Do you want to still stay doing the same things? Here's a chance to. Oh, you're choosing something different. Okay. Are you sure? Yep. Okay. Okay. We got 36, which is right there. The forest, the woods, the thicket, the jungle. Consider for a moment your earliest memory of the forest. It's likely it included all the mythic dynamics of this archetype. Full space, a little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps along losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it, and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you will be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters here, dense foliage, and entanglement, but equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. You're on an adventure now, and there's no turning back. So embrace the dim light of the moving shadows. Whether literal or imaginal, brave the forest and get lost, getting found. This is that pushing through fear and moving into the unknown spaces. Yes, there are dangers, but there are also treasures, and one needs to face or overcome the fear of, right? It's a potential. A person can walk into the forest and never run into anything dangerous. It doesn't mean that the danger doesn't exist, right? Something like that. Okay, magic when in light, magic abounds, childlike wonder and adventure. When dark, concealment, density, and savagery. If you get out of the forest without feeling lost, you are only in a little grove of trees. The great archetypal forest requires we spend at least one night frightened for our lives, for our life. Okay, and this is giving me this hermit and tower moment, right? The going within, the excavation, exploration of self, of the depths of shadow, right? All kinds of crazy creatures in there. The hunter, the maiden, the crone, and the shaman make regular appearances in the forest. Don't be surprised if these cards come out together like the narrative reveal. Let the narrative reveal itself. Okay. Okay. And the fairies wanted to come out. Speaking of forest, let's ask for some fairy wisdom. As they are our guides. And protectors. Interesting. So we've got Indy 3223 on the timer. This is giving me this a little bit. And the poop. Which, wow. Magical. Okay. Indy 63. Indecision, wishy-washy, commitment, and decision making. It's decision time. Right? Time to make up your mind. Make a decision, then stick to your commitments. Set yourself a definite time period to complete your decision, right down to the day and hour. Give yourself time to put the decision into practice before it is too late. Once that arbitrary but carefully judged decision time is set, ask for guidance for your highest good. Then weigh, consider, ponder, and gather information. If we do this, and if we have asked for aid, the answer seems somehow to fall magically into place at the appointed time, then it is just a matter of trusting that answer and carrying it through. We can ask for help with that as well if we wish. It is willingly given. On the other hand, Indy may be right to hesitate. He may not have enough information to make an informed decision, and neither may you. Hesitate while you question. Find out more. True, we never will have real guarantees from the universe about our decisions and their outcomes, but caution is appropriate here. Learn more, get agreements in writing. If it doesn't feel right, maybe it isn't. Consider well before you make promises about this, but once you do make the commitment, stick to it. Okay, I'm feeling the call to read more about Indy here. If you don't get him on the wish, you might catch him on the wash, but probably not, because by the time you think you've got a commitment from him, he's swung the other way again. Poor Indy, he can't decide between this and that, or is it that and this? If he just had more information, if he just had some kind of guarantee about the outcome, if only he could be certain about things. Well, he can't. That isn't how life is. Indy sits on our shoulder as we wobble around trying to make a decision, and just as we think we've about got it, he mutters, "But what if?" And very likely we dissolve into confusion again. Decisions make him nervous because they involve commitment, and Indy seems to be frightened of that. What if he makes the wrong decision and it ruins his or someone else's life? What if he makes no decision, dithering forever, and that causes ruin? I feel for Indy, and not only because I'm a Libra, for he is the only one of the fairy challengers who doesn't know what we should be doing. That is, he knows we should be making our decisions clearly and cleanly at the appropriate time, and he has some ideas about how we might more easily go about that. But he is not himself a good decision maker. Sometimes he whispers almost tearfully in my ear, "You're going to drive me mad, if you don't just make up your mind." There are many reasons why we hesitate when decision and action are appropriate. However, most of them boil down to fear. Fear of making a mistake, fear of harming others, fear of losing something of value to us, fear of harming ourselves, fear of responsibility, fear that we are simply not able to make a proper decision. We need to look honestly at our insecurities, recognizing them for what they are, our insecurities, not reality. Then we need to resolve what we can and set the rest in the balance against what will surely happen if we continue to hesitate. Premature decisions and actions often create problems, but lack of decision is a decision also, and one that creates its own set of misfortunes. Indy is also known as the Libra's bane, but an indecisive Libra truly is Indy's bane. He would be so relieved if we would just make our decisions and our commitments and stick to them. Then he might learn to do this for himself and be in a better position to help others. Caught up in Indy's energy, one Oracle group member, who is usually a great decision maker herself, responded to the above paragraph. "You lost me here. What would our learning to make decisions help Indy to make decisions? Would it really? Then what would he do? How would he better help other beings having problems with this? Or would the other beings that are having problems cause Indy not to learn to make his own decisions? Or are there no people that Indy knows that he can learn from now so that he could be different? Or are we talking global change here?" Or what I was trying to say was that sometimes it is possible to learn from watching others learn. Indy would like to do this. Then he might be better able to teach those processes, or perhaps not. At least I think that is what I mean. The Unity card knows there are plenty of beings who need help with this. Okay, the wishy-washy decision making and commitment. So I feel like this is part of this death of the old way, right? Your transformation into more of a gratitude fueled flow state, right? You've created the structure through your hermiting, through your processing, through your healing, and getting really good at owning consequence, I guess, right? Consequences to your decisions. When you make a decision without fear, regardless of its outcome, you stand behind it in this accountability. All of these things have no place or room for the fear. Fear is what holds us back, right? Fear, loss, love, gratitude. Okay, and 60 The Pook. Shape changer, good and bad, bad and good, paradox, and resolution. Okay, I'm not going to read his whole dizzy do, but he's a shape changer and appears in whatever guise he thinks will be the most confusing, depending on his purpose. Okay. It is time for the resolution of seeming contradictions and paradoxes in the situation. Someone or some part of the situation is cloaked in confusion, and our muddled thoughts must be stripped away, revealing truth. We just need to think about it. The information we need is now available to us. And as soon as we have that burst of insight and get it, it's time for us to make changes based on our newly clear understanding. Alternatively, this is giving me this clarity movement through the indecision, right? Alternatively, it may be time for us to make a reality check on the good bad labels we put on things. Make a list of the good, possibly even surprising things about the situation, and another list about the bad ones. If you are not in the habit of seeing the good and the bad and the bad and the good, having preferred a black and white world rather than one with colors, you may need some help in learning to do this as well. Okay, and that makes me go to this web, this structure that you have been or have made, right? This internal structure system, the web, the colorful web that you weave, that you create to hold, to receive, to accept abundance. So that's messages for somebody. These are all the messages for somebody. Okay, is that all? Is that all? We seem to be doing quite a lot of oracle messages today. Let's see if the mushrooms have anything to add. All of the mushrooms in the world. I did see the king oyster, which is about substance. Which I guess would come after the structure. Scarlet Elf Cup, healing. A 20. A time of healing is here or on its way. The Scarlet Elf Cup heals fresh wounds, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Will you drink from its cup? The wounds you carry may be fresh, but everything can be healed given time. Be patient, but also make sure you don't let the wounds stay open and fresh. Not only will you lose energy from this, but you will stay stationary until the gap is closed. You can't fill yourself with what you need or move forward if there is a leak. Where are you losing energy? Where are you letting your wounds stay open? You can learn to grow and heal when you take the time to understand the lesson. Once the lesson is learned, you no longer need to keep repeating the pattern. So if you are stuck in a repeating pattern that you can't seem to break, ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this? When we start to look at the world and people as teachers, we move from victim to student. Look at situations without the emotional charge and see from a higher perspective. Scarlet Elf Cup may also be asking us to help heal the wounds of others. Are you feeling called to service? Are there bridges that need mending? Where can you create healing in your life and with those around you? Every act of kindness has incredible healing properties. Okay, and that is also lending to the gratitude and the flow. This making contact with self, with higher self as your guide, right? When you are stuck in indecision, you're trying to think your way around a thing, through a thing, for a thing. And this is about clear connection and love. And so there's a clarity to it, right? Your ego isn't trying to convince you of a thing. Your higher self just knows the best, highest pathway for you to take at all times. So it's about shifting your perspective, refocusing, consciously choosing love as your guide, as your compass, and following it, dedicating to it. Perhaps instead of commitments to a thing, a person, a place, start with committing to love, committing to you, to yourself, to your heart, to your connection, to gratitude. Yeah, yeah. Okay, little love messages. Your dreams will come true. Confirmation, timelines, structures, restructuring. It's all coming together. Just remain in this gratitude flow state and you'll get there. You are divinely blessed. Okay. Yes. The work you've done already, how far you've come already. This is your divinity, your show of divinity. And with it comes the perks, right? Of divine blessings that are gorgeous. Shift your perspective, confirmation. Okay. Yes, if you are feeling stuck or immobilized, break everything down to fear and love and reestablish your commitment to love and choose it. Always. Dance with your eyes closed. Okay, there's a beautiful flow state, trust and response, right? You're not thinking your way. Have you ever watched somebody who's trying to think their way into a dance move? It's all over the place. They're trying to count, they're trying to watch, they're trying to think, they don't want to do it wrong. And so they confine themselves. But when you close your eyes, when you release who sees, who knows, who cares, whatever, and you just allow your body to respond to how good it feels to move, to dance, you're doing it. You just do it, right? You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Okay, this is the type of flow state that we want to get into. And gratitude is the song, okay, that we're dancing to. Be the smile on someone's face. Yes, just by being you and even if people look at you and they don't know how to respond in the moment, there's a good chance that later on you're going to pop up into their brain and they might smile then, right? But when you're shining from the inside, it's contagious. It's contagious. Okay, and the final ones, there are cooperative components at work in your life. Okay, they may drop in from nowhere. Connected to this chariot. This is the result of the internal restructuring and shifting and fundamentals establishing, and it's starting to signal all of the working components to move, to rearrange, and your gratitude is the oil in the machine that makes everything move smoothly. Is what I want to say. Okay, let's do a little charm session. Beautiful. So this one over here slid off. So this is non-resistance, right? This is like an ice rink, the smoothest ice skaters. No, something about your ice being super smooth, and this allows for smooth skating. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Something about that. Okay, and then look at this. Yes, you are firmly established in your transformation. This is also your own protection, right? To stand firm in your beliefs and your knowing. Okay, in this ability to flow, in your connection. Okay, we've got some luck coming in on the chariot here, whether they're cooperative components, aspects of your dream coming true, your dreams coming true. We've got the moon here, and look at the size of this here. So it's your intuition that is helping to guide you away from the trauma and the drama into love spaces. Okay, and look what we caught in our web. Love. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay. Love, 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 love. Gorgeous. So that's what I have for you today. I hope there is something good in there for you. A reminder to choose with love, to focus on gratitude, to keep yourself safe and sturdy in your knowing, in your flowing, and in your growing. Okay? Love you, appreciate you, and hope to see you again in another reading.